Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Donnelly, voice of the Charlotte Rush, and we're in the Charlotte Rush coach's office on this Wednesday, October the 4th. We have our midweek report. We're going to be talking about Charlotte Rush hockey. We've got a lot of things to catch up on and also preview. And specifically right now, we're going to be talking about the Charlotte Rush Premier team. And to do that, let us bring in the head coach, part owner, general manager of the Charlotte Rush Premier Club, and that is Ryan Crothers. And Ryan, good to have you back for a chat. I wanted to talk about the off weekend. We had an off weekend very early in the season. And, of course, wanted to know from your perspective, do you think it was detrimental, helpful, and what did you tell the guys to do that weekend? There were no games.
Well, I mean, I think you can't really control the schedule, and I think when you start digging into things and looking at the schedule, takes away from what you're trying to accomplish. I think we did a lot of looking at our schedule. We have a very tough schedule, too. If you look at the parity between the teams and the showcases and stuff, I mean, we have a very, very difficult schedule this season. And off weekends, I think, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. I mean, if you look at the result on the weekend, you'd probably say maybe it was a bad thing, but I thought it was good because I didn't think we were playing our brand of hockey, and it's kind of weird. I think I'm a pretty good evaluator of our team and kind of hard on them, and I thought that the first two weekends where we went 4-0, I didn't think we played very good hockey, and we talked about that. So I thought the off weekend was good because we had time to focus on our game, and I thought our game was better in a lot of areas, even though we lost 2 games. I don't think, sometimes, the better team wins or loses, and I thought we were the better team for, 120 minutes. We just didn't get the result that we wanted to. There's still things we need to clean up, but the things that we were trying to clean up and the things that we were working on for 2 weeks throughout that off weekend, I thought we corrected a lot of it, and now we were exposed in some other areas that we have to fix. So it's a long season. I was happy with the off weekend. Last year we had an off weekend where we were able to rest some guys because of injuries. So, again, out of our control, but, it is what it is. I'm indifferent with it.
All right, and before we talk about the results from the Rush and Carolina Eagles game this past weekend, Ryan, you pulled another rabbit out of the hat. You brought back Tyler Barrow, who was a big scorer for the Rush last year, a very key component. How'd you get him back here in a Rush uniform again?
I mean, nothing that I did. I mean, our goal is always to move guys to the highest level possible, and he was playing in New Jersey, and he decided to walk away from there, and he wanted to be back here. And he made a personal decision to leave New Jersey and come to Charlotte, and this is home for him, so we welcomed him back. But for him as an uncommitted 97, he wants to play big-time minutes, and he deserves it at this level. And I think the character that he brings to our room is night and day. I think we're a different team with him here. I thought he was very good leadership-wise. I think he's been great in practice, pace and tempo. I'm really excited with the Tyler Barrow that returned to Charlotte. He came back hungry and determined. He wants to have a better season than he even had last year. He wants to do better than his 87 points. So we're excited to have him back, excited to have him in our locker room. He's a big part of what we do here, and it's nice to have a familiar face here.
I think a lot of Charlotte Rush fans were very happy to see Tyler Barrow's name in the lineup card this past weekend. And, yeah, he's going to add a lot to our club and just make us a lot more dangerous, I'm sure. All right, let's talk about the games in Raleigh this past weekend. Wow, certainly the result did not indicate what you guys did on Saturday. Lost in overtime, but 49 shots on goal. Did we just run into a hot goaltender that night? But as you said, it seemed like all the stats were certainly in the Rush's favor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we ran into a hot goaltender. I don't think we tested him enough. And you might say 49 shots is a pretty good test, but I think as we look at it, it was a lot of perimeter stuff, not a lot of second opportunities. I think he did make some good saves. I think their game plan was great. I think they sat back and waited for their opportunity, and I think the ice was tilted for the majority of that game. And I think a problem that we have right now is either staying out of the box or running into some unfortunate calls. But when you're killing 30 minutes out of 60 and you're killing off multiple 5-on-3s for extended periods of time, it's hard to get in your rhythm. Our penalty kill was fantastic. I don't believe we gave up a power play goal the whole weekend, and we were killing for 60 minutes out of 120. So very proud of our penalty kill. I was proud of the effort the guys gave. I just wish we would have got second and third opportunities and stuff like that. But, again, big improvement from where we were. The result is not what we wanted, but I'm happy with some guys, other guys not so much. But we'll continue to make the adjustments. I thought overall on the weekend was Charlotte Rush hockey for the most part, and I don't think the scores were indicative of the play.
And again, the following night, the Rush, following day, I should say, Sunday afternoon, Charlotte losing 2-1. Ryan, were you surprised that these two games were so low scoring between these two teams?
I don't know. I think they had a good game plan. They executed well, Carolina. I think they packed it in, and our shot selection wasn't very good. We didn't really get a chance to roll on the power play, which is something that we're normally very good at. We're usually a much more disciplined team, and I think that's a mixture of us being undisciplined and some new guys taking some undisciplined penalties. And I also think it's just a result of the atmosphere. Like you mentioned, we're not home for a month here. I don't think we're going to get a lot of favorable things to go our way, but it's no excuse. Our penalty kill stepped up. I don't know. I look at last year, and at this point last year, we had already lost to the Carolina Eagles once. We lost to them twice in our first 10 games. So it looks like that story's staying the same, and I think if we all know the end result and what happened last year, so you can't write the story in September, October. We have a very, very good memory here, and we understand what took place and what transpired in Raleigh, and we plan to rectify that come November, and I definitely plan on having the same end result with a trophy and a ring.
Ryan, can I assume that you and Trevor don't really pay attention much to the standings this early in the season? I'm hard on my guys. I know where we stand. I know where we sit right now. I know we sit in third place, 3 points back at Carolina with 2 games in hand. I'm not worried about the standings, though. You're not, like I said, you're not going to win a championship now. You got to find ways to get better every week. And the real important thing now is playing our best hockey going into a showcase so that our guys are looked at by schools and make sure that they're playing. Like, there's an individual element to this, and that's player advancement. And that's a big part of what we do here. Aside from trying to win every hockey game, we're trying to advance guys. So what's important to me and Trevor right now is making sure that we're playing the best brand of hockey, and it's good for our individuals so that they can be showcased at the highest level, and that's next week. And we're not looking past Potomac, but we're talking about building blocks. When you talk about our team, we talk about trusting the process, and this is a process, and you're going to have some mishaps. We had plenty of mishaps last season, so I don't think anyone, including our players, is at all concerned about what happened this past weekend. Win or lose, every Tuesday we have our meetings and we hit the reset button. So we did that yesterday, and we'll move on, and we'll be just fine here. Final question for Charlotte Rush Premier coach Ryan Crothers. Ryan, Potomac Patriots on the road. It's one of our longer trips as far as our local trips. Yeah, we go to Florida and the showcase events, but as far as our local games and our division, this is one of the longer trips. But Potomac wasn't very good last year. Let's face it. Have they improved a lot? I know you and Trevor have had a chance to look at them a little bit. Are they going to give us a little bit more of a run this year?
Absolutely. I think they're a lot better than they were last year. I think they had a lot of unfortunate things happen last season. I know the RJ, he does a great job there, and last year was just an unfortunate year, and you're going to have those years. We went through our growing pains year one. I look at their roster, and I look at some of the players they have, and they have some very dynamic players, especially on a big sheet. They got a big Olympic sheet, and they have some guys that could really move. It's going to be night and day compared to what it was last year, so I'm expecting a very good Potomac Patriot team, and for us, we were coming off 2 losses, so it's very important. We're not overly concerned about what Potomac does or who they have. We're worried about our process and getting better each week. And like I mentioned earlier, we had a setback as far as wins and losses go, but not in the process and not in what we're trying to do as a team. And I'm excited about the steps that we're taking. And we need to take a couple more this week before Potomac if we want to have a different result. And we have to take some big leaps and bounds if we want to be the team we said we want to be in Chicago.
All right, Ryan, well, let's hope we'll get back in the win column this weekend at Potomac. Thanks very much for the thoughts and observations.
Thank you.
All right, Ryan Crothers, the head coach of the Charlotte Rush Premier Club. And again, you can go to Hockey TV this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Catch all the action of both the Charlotte Rush Elite and Premier clubs on Hockey TV. And also, don't forget, home game coming up in about a month here at the Extreme Ice Center. Their Rush hasn't been home since September the 9th and 10th, but November 4th and 5th, the Carolina Eagles come to town. We've got a little revenge on our minds there, so mark those dates on your calendar. Hope we get a big crowd out here for the next Rush home games coming up on Saturday and Sunday, November 4th and 5th. Thank you to Andrew Scollard, our cameraman. And again, you can catch all the Charlotte Rush action on charlotterushhockey.com. Also go to all of our social media platforms as well. I'm Tim Donnelly, voice of the Charlotte Rush. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.